Hi everybody, I'm Philip VanDusen, and today I'm going to talk to you about naming your business. Naming your business. When you're starting off, naming your business is probably one of the most important decisions that you make. You may have started off your entrepreneur endeavor or your individual consulting endeavor with a personal brand name, so operating under your own personal name. And you may be wondering whether you should name your business as it grows after a business brand name. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the pros and cons of having a business brand name or a personal brand name. The three major things you want to keep in mind are scalability, flexibility, and sellability. Some of the advantages of naming your business after yourself, so a personal brand name, are that, number one, it's easy. It's already done. It's your name. You can get yourself out there. You may have already bought your URL, so it's not as difficult to start up the business. It's also really advantageous because it's flexible. So you could start off your business as a marketing guru, and then as your interests change over time, you could become a yoga instructor. It's all about you as an individual. So you're not being constrained by a business name. You have the opportunity to grow and evolve. Personal brand names are great for people who have speaking careers, who are consultants, trainers, coaches, authors, artists. It's great for those sort of people to name their business after themselves because they're building a sense of personal fame. Some of the challenges of a personal brand name are number one, it makes it very difficult to describe what it is that you do. So people have to develop an understanding and a knowledge of you and what it is you do to start to associate your name with what it is that you offer. You don't have the advantage of a business name that has a little bit of a descriptor behind it to give people an indication of what it is that you do. So it takes more time to build brand equity and understanding of your offering with a personal brand name. It's also tougher for SEO and SEM because for the search engines to associate what it is that you do with your name takes a lot of time, money, and effort. Some more challenges in brand names is that it's hard to scale. Essentially, you're just trading time for money, so your time for getting paid. You could add employees underneath you, but they are inherently not you. So if someone asks Guy Kawasaki to come speak at a conference, they're going to expect Guy Kawasaki to show up, not Guy Kawasaki's second in command. So you want to be very cognizant of the fact that scalability under a personal brand name is inherently tough. The last thing is that if you ever want to sell a business or you want to exit, if you name it after yourself, you really can't sell your personal name and no one can really buy your personal name because they're not you. So it's kind of tough to exit a personal brand name. So if you are thinking down the road that you want to sell the business, it's probably much better that you name it after a business name than a personal name. Here are some of the advantages of having a business brand name. Number one, having a business name explains pretty easily what it is that you do. So like Virgin Airlines or Apple Computers, they have a descriptor after them that says, and you can tell very quickly what it is that they do. Over time, they dropped those descriptors because they built brand equity in those names. But it's easier for SEO and SEM and for customers to understand what it is that you do and to remember and recognize what it is you do when you have a business name. Also, banks like business names better. So if you're looking for funding or you're looking for investment, business brand names always have an easier time of getting funding than individuals do. Banks just like them better. And it's a lot easier to sell if you want to exit. So down the road, if you want to sell your business and you've built a business, it's easier to sell than having that business named after you. Here's some challenges of business brand names. Businesses that have business brand names are a little more difficult to set up legally, a little more cumbersome and complicated to do. They're more complex to build. So in terms of strategy and orchestrating and planning out the business, they're a little more complicated than a personal brand business. It's a little more difficult to grow and morph what the business offers under the banner of a business brand name. Take, for instance, Apple Computers. They started off just selling computers, but over time they got into music, they got into watches, they got into phones. They dropped computers because they built so much equity around the word Apple, but that also, by dropping that name, gave them a lot of freedom to change and grow and expand their offering. So having a business brand name that's not terribly descriptive can be helpful. Early in my career, I worked for a store called Nothing But Posters that sold posters and frames. But over time, they ended up selling a lot of gifts and a lot of artwork. And so that name, Nothing But Posters, was very confining to them. So you have to be very planful if you're choosing a business brand name, not to choose a name that's too confining. So in summary, remember those three things. There's no right or wrong answer, but you want to think about scalability, flexibility, and sellability. So that's it. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please hit subscribe below so you can get updates, my newest videos and articles. Please visit me at philipvandusen.com. I'd love to talk to you about your brand, learn about your challenges and successes. And while you're there, subscribe to my newsletter, Brand MUSE, where I share tips and insights and resources for branding, marketing, and entrepreneurs and people who are in creative professions. So again, thanks a lot for watching, and bye for now.